Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Thrive in Edu community. Rachelle, you are so slow. There you are. Hello, Rachelle, my beautiful, wonderful friend. But we are so glad that you are joining us today from wherever you are. We've got so many wonderful things to talk about. We have an amazing guest, and we're just so happy to be here. We're going to play rapid fire at the end, so I hope that you'll stick around and stay with us. But Rachelle, how are you doing? What's up with you?
We're not live. We're not live.
Oh,
now we're live.
Okay, we are live. I was like, not again.
I don't know. It wasn't showing that we were live. So then you said I was frozen and I was seeing myself move. So I don't know. Technology hates me today. It hates me.
You scared me.
I'm probably still scaring you because I'm not moving.
You are. It's weird. Do you need to restart your computer?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I did. I did switch it over. I think it's just, all right, Tim, thank you. I am live.
Yes.
So yay, maybe I just won't move. I won't move. And then it'll just be like, you can hear my voice. So I'm good. I'm really good. I'm busy as we all are. And I'm still catching up from being so tired from TCEA last week. And that like 9 hours I spent in the airport, but it's all good.
I wish it was only 9 hours in the airport that I could have spent. It takes me a whole day of travel. So you got it good. I love that Tim has joined us. I feel like, I don't know if his ears were or his nose were twitching. I was talking good things about him today. So it's so cool. I would love to meet him in real life. But we do have an incredible guest, like Tim just said, Vernon. But before we bring him up, I feel like, do you have any shout outs that you'd like to give?
Hello, Mel. Yeah, to you, Mel, and the other Mel. So let's see, shout outs, a couple. So this week, thank you. I did the webinar with Spaces and you were there with me. So that was a lot of fun to do and to share. And my students were really excited that I was talking about them. Like I talk about you guys all the time and what we do. So I have that shout out. And then what other kind of shout outs can I give? Anything? What do you want to know?
I want to give a shout out to Carly Spina because I got her book and she signed it for me. She's such a sweetheart. I love her. And this is Moving Beyond for Multilingual Learners. And she even autographed it for me. I feel so special. She's so cute. Like she's like my soul sister. She gets all my lipstick references, all my makeup references, and she's still brilliant. You know what I mean? Like it's not superficial. Thank you, Carly. Yes. It's my shout out.
Yes. Let's see. Other shout outs. I want to shout out Alice Keeler from last week because one, she's amazing and it was so great to hang with her at TCA. Two, there's a lot of reasons, but the biggest one is she was offering to ease my stay in the DFW airport because I was just sitting there hanging out in uncomfortable chairs and she offered to try and get me into the Admirals Club. But I was like, you know what? I'm fine. I'm good here right now. But she was checking in on me. So I'm giving her a shout out. And it was a lot of fun to be and go live with her and with you, with Laura Steinbrink. So I'm just thankful that we had the chance to connect with everybody last week and looking forward to this weekend because I'm going to see some more of our friends for a couple of days. So
yes,
that's it.
I'd be jealous. We're going to talk about what's coming up this weekend. And I want to say to Alice too, and Vernon probably has words to say for Alice also, but she did bring so much energy to TCEA. And she also, she got me in the lounge. So now I enjoy Alaska Lounge because of her. And now I'm a snob when I fly because I don't want to touch the eyes with people. So, it's all good. But anyway, and thank you, Mel, for joining us. Thank you, Tim. Let us bring up now this person, and I'll let you talk about him too, Rachelle, but I'm just so excited for our guest to come up today. This time last week, or maybe it was a little bit earlier this time last week, but I met him for the first time in real life. Otherwise, I've just been a big fan of his on social media, but I've never got to hug him. And I'll tell you what, like meeting him in real life was amazing. He's just so charismatic and he cares about people genuinely. And I just got to bring up Vernon right now. Vernon!
Hello, folks.
Hello.
Yes.
I know, big hearts.
You guys are so gracious. And I just want to say before we go any further that it is definitely a privilege and an honor to be here with you and immensely grateful to have connected with you all last week. As one of my other friends, Scott Noon says, IRL in real life. Yes, indeed.
Amen. Let's give a shout out to Scott Noons. He's amazing.
I know. He got me ketchup.
Yes. This is yes. Oh my goodness. So Vernon, tell us. Oh wait, Rachelle, did you have a lot of nice words to say too? I don't want to cut you off like I normally do.
Oh no, I would just say it was very nice to see Vernon again last week because it had been a while since I had seen Vernon IRL, as Scott says. But Vernon and I first connected IRL when we spoke a couple of years ago at Rewire conference, and it was just, I mean, this is the first time we met, face to face, and it was a lot of fun. Get to hang out with a lot of great people, and we had a lot of laughs, and so it was nice to finally be back together last week. And when I first got to the conference, like, I went to register and I saw Dr. Desiree Alexander. And then I didn't move from where I was for like 45 minutes because everybody, there was Vernon and there was Scott and Laura and just so many people in that one space, and Nicole Taylor. So it was awesome to be there.
Yeah. Both of those women are amazing. Yes, I could go. I should have given them a shout out too. They have just supported. Okay, but Vernon, it's your turn. It's your turn. Let us, I want to know, what are you up to? Like, you've been to the conferences too. I'm pretty sure you were at FETC. Yes.
Was not at FETC. I think that I was the only person that was not at FETC. I think that everybody else was there, and it's kind of interesting. And before I kind of get into that real quick, I just want to say a very gracious shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, Teachers on Fire, Tim Cavey. Thank you, my brother, for being here with us. And for those that might want to kind of go back in the archives, a couple of years ago, maybe even a little bit longer than that, Tim was so gracious in having me on his show. You guys can go back and check out that episode. I don't remember what bow tie I was wearing, but anyway, it was definitely an honor to have been on his show. So definitely a shout out to you, Tim. Thank you for being here with us, my man. And, just want to say, of course, obviously, for those that are wondering, who is this strange guy? Well, my name is Vernon Wright, and that's Wright with a WRIGHT across all of my socials at the Wright Leader, Wright with a W. And just so honored and so privileged to be here with you all today. Started out many, many, many moons ago in this very, very small city, or this very, very small town named Dallas that probably none of you have heard of. Yes, being a little facetious there. But started out as a teacher, then progressed into being a teacher leader, and then went back to school to get my master's in leadership and got into campus administration. And from there, got an opportunity to go ahead and support at the district level as well. Now, interesting little tidbit and a little piece that a lot of folks may not necessarily know is that two things. When I got into education, it really was not a long-term game plan. My plan was just to kind of be in there for about 2 to 3 years until I kind of figured out what I wanted to be when I grew up. And so got in there about after 2 years or so, was approached by different people, including admin, with kind of this question of, do you have any plans beyond the classroom? And that's kind of how it all started. Now, interestingly enough, people ask me, how did the speaking thing start? And I naturally was not inclined to be a speaker per se. And so there was a gentleman, he has since retired many, many, many moons ago. And he came out and observed me one day when I was teaching. And I was teaching at the high school level, by the way. So shout out to my secondary folks that are out there. We have love for the elementary folks as well. But he came out and observed me. And a couple of days later, he said, I want to talk to you about my observation. And I was like, oh, my goodness. Hopefully I didn't do too bad, because this is like he's like one of those central office guys. So he asked me, he said, how did you do? How did you, what did you think about the observation? I said, well, I thought it was okay. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. What did you think about it, sir? And he told me, he said, well, I didn't think that it was okay. I thought it was like phenomenal or great. And I was like, oh my goodness. And he asked me, would you be interested in pairing with me to do some district level PD? Of course, we called it PD back then. Of course, we call it professional learning now. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm not really sure about this. And to give him a quick little shout out, his name was Lewis Hemphill. Great, great, great man. And want to go ahead and say that for him, I have nothing but absolute gratitude for him. And then, of course, that led into doing some other speaking things at the local level, district level, regional level, state level, and then beyond. And so when we get into that beyond part, That's how I met one Dr. Pop at Rewire.
And I'm listening to all the things that you have done. I don't know where Mel disappeared. I was like, where did she
She's
go?
somewhere. She'll be
I
back.
know. I see her
She'll
down
be
there.
back.
But listening to all the things that you've done, like how many different experiences that you've had, and just I knew some of your story, but I didn't know all of your story. Just what I've seen on social, of course, and getting to know you at Rewire and having that time to have those conversations. But
Mhm.
that's one
Yep.
thing that I find to be so valuable is somebody I had a conversation earlier today and they said, oh, what kind of sessions do you go to when you go to conferences? And I said, well,
Mhm.
it's almost rare that I get to actually attend like a full session. I mean, I try to
Right.
pop into different sessions, or I might be presenting, or I'm on the way to
Mhm.
a session, I run into people,
Right.
and then you sit down and have conversations, or it's at the events later on that you have time to make those connections. And so it was great, when we were there together in Jersey, and just getting to meet some people that had only known through like these types of spaces or Twitter chats or whatever, to actually sit down and, one, realize like you're actually a real person. Two, like you look exactly like your profile, or like you are way taller than I thought, or something, like, you see them and have that interaction. But
Right.
and you actually sometimes, I don't know if you experience this too, but you forget if you've actually met that person in real life, or if it's the first time,
Right.
because there's such a familiarity and you've known each other for so long, and it's like, wait, did we actually meet before, or did we just see each other? So it's, I don't know, having these opportunities to connect and to learn and grow together is just, we need to, we need to do that. And I wish I had known that years ago. And the last thing I'll say before I put on my listening lips is, like you, I did not think that I was going to be in education for a long time. It was just, that's what I went into. And I'm like, I'm on a 10-year plan, and I've been in it longer than 10 years, but I wouldn't still be here had it not been for law school. That's when I say I really started teaching, was after that. But enough about me. I'm going to go back. Oh, poor Mel. I'm going to go back to, since Mel's back now, just back to
Oh,
Mel.
it's okay. You guys are doing good. Alice was actually talking in, and I had to go down because I couldn't make it public, and her comments weren't coming public. But she is, so hi again, Alice. We were giving you a shout out. I hope you heard. But anyway, yeah, I love that about conferences. Let's just talk about that for a second. Mel just said, she doesn't know when it's going to be like time for her to go back to in person. I actually feel like regular life is happening again. Do you guys feel that way? Like it's time
Mhm.
to just embrace life, keep moving. COVID is a part of our life. How can we mitigate it and just navigate through that the best that we can? But I'm done. Like, I don't, this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I'm just done hiding. Like, and I'm done being lonely. So the conferences for me have given me a lot of life. How do y'all feel about that?
Yeah, well, I would say this, I think it really kind of brings us to, and there was a leader that I worked for many years ago, and she has long since retired as well. And she used to use this term called decision point, and I really like that term. And I think that really the context of what we are living in and have been living in with this pandemic has really brought us to this decision point. And really, that decision point is the convergence of how do we really manage and live through these current circumstances, but then also too, how do we also continue to honor? And I really like the word honor because there's such a strong connotation with it. How do we continue to honor all of the other parts of our lives that were happening before this pandemic ever started? And so one of the things I want to share here real quick is that this has really provided us with, as I have shared with other folks in many, many different circles over time, a quote unquote real life leadership lesson. And it is really that, because you kind of have to be in the middle. So there's this continuum, right? So there's this continuum of totally shut down everything. And then there's this continuum, the other end of the continuum, where it is, well, we're going to totally believe like nothing is happening. And so, really, what those two continuums, those are extremes. And so, really, where is the sweet spot, so to speak? Where is the spot where we need to be in? It's really in the middle of, we have to understand and recognize the reality of the pandemic and what's happening with that. But then also, too, at the same time, in honoring that, I can't drop who I am. I
Right.
can't drop that natural interaction. And I want to say this here real quick. And folks, you know that you do not come into this space not ready to take notes. We do not
Yeah.
do that on this podcast, folks, because I'm getting ready to go ahead and drop a quick pro tip. And it simply is this: as human beings, we are hardwired we are built at our core in our DNA to have interaction with other human beings. We're just designed to be that way. So when you take that away, that's not really beneficial for us as human beings. And so we have to honor that as well as we honor, obviously, the reality of the pandemic, too.
Mhm. I agree totally. And I just got we just got a surprise guest that just came up when you were talking, Vernon. And should we
Okay.
bring her up? Okay. All right.
Who's a
Our
surprise guest? Alice Keeler, right there, ladies and gentlemen. There she is.
Yes, yes. So what do you think, Alice? So Vernon I agree completely with what Vernon said. It's definitely in our DNA to be with people. And while some of us are ready, some of us are not, that's okay, wherever you are in that. How do you feel about it?
Well, first, I'm here because I'm here to fangirl Vernon. I got the little pop-up that said Vernon was on the show, and I'm like, I'm not missing that. I'm supposed to be making a presentation right now, but like, this is super cool. I totally agree. I mean, I'm going to Peru on Monday, so obviously, I'm trying to live my life and be safe and wear 2 masks while I'm there. Those are the rules, and I'm going to follow the rules. I'm not going to be a jerk, but it's time to see people.
Mm.
Definitely. I'm going to be like, I love it that the conferences, I'm going to be in Anchorage this weekend at a conference. I think, Rachelle, you're going to be in Nashville. Are you frozen or just smiling really big?
Maybe both. I don't know. I have no idea what's happening. I'm happy. Yeah, I'm going to be in Nashville. There is a conference there this week. It's the AASA, it's the superintendent's conference. So there's a lot of people there. So it'll be awesome to see friends.
Oh, my friends are there. Make sure you stop by the booth and say hi to them.
All right.
Yeah. Vernon, do you have one you're going to as well? What is your next stop?
Well, my next stop is with a little outfit here locally, and we'll be doing some work with them here in the summer. We're still working behind the scenes on that, so not quite at the point where I can kind of disclose
Okay.
that publicly, but that is happening behind the scenes. So very excited and very hyped about that. I do want to say, as we're speaking about conferences and also talking to about what's upcoming for me in my next event, I do want to go ahead and go back in time real quick and tell a quick little funny conference story. So
Please.
when we went to Rewire, and that was my really first time ever really having been to New Jersey at all, professionally or personally. So flew into Philadelphia, drove into New Jersey, Southern New Jersey. And so anyway, went through the conference, great experience, got to meet so many different folks. You know, shout out to Beth Huff, Jay Billy, all of those folks, of course, the phenomenal Glenn Robbins, who organized the whole thing. And so I said, well, you know, hey, I have this rental car. I have to fly out, you know, the next day. Let me go ahead and just stop the night before. I'll put some gas in it. And, you know, hey, I'll be ready to go when I take it to the airport. It'll be gassed up and I won't have to pay like for the rental car folks for their gas, right? At the price that they have. So I pull up to this gas station in New Jersey, just a little ways down from the hotel. And now I'm from Texas, folks, Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, Metroplex area. So I pull up to this gas station and this gentleman walks out and he walks up to my door and I roll the window down and he looks at me and he says, okay, go ahead and give me your credit card. And I looked at him and I was like, excuse me? And he was like, yeah, go ahead and give me your credit card. And I was like, and why is that? So long story short, found out that New Jersey is full service only
That's
throughout the
right.
whole state. I did not know that because here in Texas, you pump your own gas. It is self-serve. So that's a quick little funny conference story that I tell folks because my first thought was, well, I'll just go ahead and go down the street to another gas station. And he was like, he
Same
looked at me
thing.
and asked me, he said, you're not from here, are you? No, I'm not. So
Oh my
I
God.
love that.
Same story, New Jersey.
You know what? And I forgot I'm going to meet Joe Sanfilippo this weekend in Anchorage. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I mean, just while we're dropping names and everything, you know what I'm saying? Like one thing I wanted to say too about, or I'm trying to meet him. Maybe I won't. Who knows? But one thing I want to say about this whole conference thing is meeting people in real life. people that you've only ever talked with virtually or email, or you've collaborated virtually, but actually hugging them, shaking their hand, or, fist bump, whatever, if you're not a germ person. But I mean, it's just, is it, when I met, and I'll never forget this, with Hedrick and Desiree, I'd already met Nicole Taylor a few times. I love her. But when I met those two ladies at TCEA, like, we just started talking so fast. It wasn't like we didn't even take a second to say, hey, this is the first time we've actually been in the same room, like a physical room together. And I wondered if y'all had that same experience with others.
Yeah, well, I'll just say that you instantly click. And of course, there's so many different folks that I could go ahead and name, and what a privilege and an honor it was to have connected with so many different people at TCEA. And I just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out. I've done this online, but I want to go ahead and do it as well in this forum as well. Just a quick shout out to everyone at TCEA, from the board to also the senior leadership team. Thank you, thank you, thank you, TCEA. I often say that, there are a handful of conferences that are really like the Super Bowl of education, and TCEA obviously is one of those. And you mentioned Joe San Filippo, and I was so privileged and honored to have him for just a little bit, be in one of my sessions at TCEA before he had to get ready for his session that was next door to mine. And so great to have seen him, obviously, in person. Of course, we all follow him for his leadership walks that he has in the mornings. And what a great guy. What a great concept, right? What a great concept. I'm gonna take this walk. You guys can come along with me. I'm just gonna share a little bit. And when I get to the end of it, have a great day, right? And it's kind of funny, tell you guys an interesting story. You guys have probably heard of this before, but it's kind of hearing him speak to that, about how people have watched those videos so many times that they know that when he gets to a certain point in his walk, that's when he usually says certain things. Right. So when he gets to a certain point in his walk, they're like, okay, he's getting ready to close. He's getting ready to stop the video. Right. So,
or darn, I made it too late. Okay, well, we're going to go over our time, and that's fine because you guys are amazing. So listen, before we get to our game, which is going to be hysterical, especially now that Alice is here, because I know she could. And she reminded us it's wine day, so like if you want to have a bottle of wine or 5, just come. We're adults. But before we play a funny game, let's talk about our personal and professional bests. And I don't mind who goes first. I'll pick you if nobody goes. I'm okay with picking people and putting them on the spot. But let's do personal. What has been something that you have done personally that you are just, it fulfills you and you don't mind sharing?
Can I go?
Yeah.
So yesterday, a student comes into my room and says, hey, Ms. Keeler, can you stay after school? And I'm like, well, I only teach first and second period. I go, do you have detention? Because I do detention in the morning. Because he's not my student. He wasn't my student last year, but I had subbed his class several times. And we're in a small school. And he's like, no, I really need some help with my math. Can you come back after school? And so I said that I would, but I usually go home, and I said, can you come in the morning? I'm there in the morning. And so he came this morning, and then his teachers that he had the first and second hour said they wanted him to study for this math test. So he worked so hard today, first and second period, trying to do percent of increase. And that just lights my day. That's what gets me going is the kids. I mean, the rest of the stuff's whatever.
That's awesome. I mean, that is so awesome. Yes. Does anybody else want to share? And it doesn't have to be about students or teaching. It can be about anything. You want to go, Rachelle? Personal?
I thought my cat wanted to say something for a minute because he legit opened the door. The door was shut, and he opened the door and just waltzed right up. It's like the most awkward thing. I don't know. I mean, I had like just personal best. I don't know. This week it was like a little bit challenging. I guess the biggest thing was I had a lot of work to do for one of the courses I'm taking right now. And, the webinar we did on Wednesday and some other things and work at school. And I was like, I got to the point where I thought, oh my gosh, I cannot do this. Like, I'm exhausted, and didn't think I would get it done, but just set some goals, talk about SEL, like set some do a little self-management, set some goals for myself. So that worked out. I got everything done. And then I wrote a blog about something that I had very little knowledge about, and it was published today. So that was a stressor for me too, because I don't know, it was about NFTs. And I'm like, oh, NFTs, blockchain, all this stuff. So I spent last weekend. So that was added on to everything else. But it came out today. So I was like, well, I guess I can. It just takes a little bit of research and, push my thinking a little bit. But anyway, I was excited about that.
Very cool that you embrace that. What about you, Vernon? What's something that you want to talk about?
Wow, you guys are hard acts to follow. Wow, we're talking about students and percent of increase and NFTs and blockchain and oh my goodness, right? Well, I want to say this, a couple of stories real quick, and this is more from a student perspective. This first story is, and that is, and I shared this a little bit last week at TCEA, had a young man that he and I were kind of in different places and had differences of opinion over the years or over the course of the school year in which he had been a student of mine. So he came up to me one day, handed me a note, and he said, "Mr. Wright, here's a note. I'm leaving." And I thought, well, leaving like for the day, you're sick, you're in trouble, like what happened? And he said, "No, I'm leaving because my family is moving." And when he gave me this note, one of the things that he said to me was, "You have to promise not to read this note until you get to your car after school." Okay, fair enough, right? And so he said, "Okay, just wanted to give you that note. See you later." And so I take the note, wait till the end of the day. I get to my car. And so I'm sitting, picture, if you will, ladies and gentlemen, folks that are watching, picture, if you will, me sitting in my car in the faculty parking lot. And this was at the time when I was working at the middle school level. This has been years ago. And so I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, do I read this note now? And no, because I'll be like, not really sure about that. Or do I just wait and get home and then I'll read the note at home? And I was like, well, I'll just be upset at home. And so back then in those days, my commute was about 30 to 45 minutes one way. And so I said, well, you know what? Let me just read the note now. And then if I'm upset, because I'm expecting he's really going to express his feelings about me, and I'll have time to kind of decompress before I get home. So I go through the letter. He acknowledges that we kind of had some differences of opinion. And then he got to the very end of the letter. And I want to say this, folks, that to the folks that are watching this, listening to this, however you are connecting with this episode, that it is no coincidence that you're here. It is no happenstance. This is a date with destiny and a date with your destiny. And so I get to the very end of the note, and he said this. He said simply, "Mr. Wright, thank you for being the father that I never had." And I got to tell you, folks, I was sitting there in my car, and I'm a grown man, and obviously, and I lost it. I broke down because I had, and I'm sure that there are folks that are watching this right now. You've poured into students so many times, and you've poured into students so much into students. I used to have a running joke with students, and I said, I think I care more about your future than you do. And so you have those moments like that in education that just really bring you back to, this is why I am in this business. This is why. And so that was a great best for me. And I want to say also to another best for me is really just, and this is kind of a long-term deal. It's not really a one-time acute event. It's really been a journey or a process. And that is really this understanding that, what, I have the ability to reinvent myself. And those that were in my session last week were able to see how I started out once upon a time. I showed the screenshot. Why I took a screenshot then, I don't know. Maybe it was because I was just beginning, but I took a screenshot of when I had 15 followers on Twitter, 15 folks. And to know and to look at and to see where I am now and where we're going in the future, and just so humbled and so honored. So thank you all again for having me on the show.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, for sure. Are you guys, that was pretty serious and cool.
I know.
Very touching. Yes, agreed. Yes. Are y'all ready? Do you want to play a game? We could say goodbye, but if you want to lighten it up, we could do that as well. What do y'all want to do?
I'm here for Vernon, and then I'm here for the game.
Okay, then. All right.
Shout out to you, Alice Keeler. You are so gracious, my friend. So gracious, cousin. Thank you, cousin.
All right. So if you are watching, please, I wonder if your mom is watching today. Where are you, Marianne? I haven't heard from you.
I know.
Aaron, Mel, Tim, please join along. If anybody else is watching, there's at least 4 people watching right now. So please play along with us. I would love to see your answers. And of course, we're going to play rapid fire. And I'm just, I'm going to start a little bit easy. So I'm going to ask you, and you have to say with the first, it's called rapid fire. So try to be as fast as you can. Okay. And this is an easy one. What's your favorite color?
Black.
Red.
Lime green.
Awesome. Okay, this is fast. So everybody watching, you have to be fast, or I'm gonna move on. Amazing. Okay. What's your favorite number and why?
16. I don't know.
7.
3. There's
Number of
3.
completion.
Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. Wait. So what is your favorite numbers? I was looking at the comments.
7.
His is more
Number of
fingers than ours.
completion.
Rachelle's is more fingers than she has.
Yep. 16.
It is true, Tim. There is a little delay, but it's awesome. Awesome. Okay. Oh, okay. Yes. All right. I like that. Ooh, nice. We got 2 16s in the house. Wonderful.
Right,
Okay.
Aaron.
I'll try to be, you can go a little slower, but not too slow because it irritates me if you go too slow on a rapid fire game. Just so you know. Just so you know. Okay. Not that anybody wins or anything. There's no points. What is your favorite food?
Stuffed bell peppers.
Salad.
No. You have to take that back.
Salad with carnitas on it at the taco place nearby was black bean corn salsa. And every time I get that, I think of you, Alice, because I think about like carnitas. I'm like, Alice makes carnitas.
I do. AliceKeo.com/carnitas in the Instant Pot, friends.
I know.
I make them for Vernon when he comes to visit me.
There you go.
Nice. I like that roast lamb. Vernon, do you have a favorite food? Do you eat?
Steak.
Nice.
All right.
All right. Okay, next question. Okay, who do you miss?
Who do I
Who
miss?
do you miss? Who do you miss right now? Who are you missing?
Steve Hargadon. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Oh yeah, I haven't talked to Steve in a long time either. I miss everybody. I miss my mom and my dad. How about that?
Yeah.
Marianne, where are you?
Vernon, who do you miss?
I miss all of my friends out there that I haven't seen since last week at TCEA.
That's the way to keep it light. I'm with you, Aaron. I miss my dad a lot. I think about him every day. I know that was my foot. Okay. Oh, that's right. You have gone through some stuff, Mel. I hear you on that. Oh yeah. Thank you. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna move on. Next question. All right. What's your favorite childhood memory?
I can't tell you because I won't tell you when it was. I had a birthday cake that my parents got me, and it was the Cookie Monster. It was big and blue and had the chocolate chip cookie sticking out of it. The second answer was going to be seeing Olivia Newton-John in concert or Hall & Oates or Bon Jovi.
I actually love that. That's awesome. All right, guys. What's your favorite childhood memory?
Well, I have a couple. One is playing Little League Baseball. That was really, really, really cool. And then the second one was learning how to ride a bike.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
Who taught you how to ride a bike?
My mom and dad, they both helped me out with that. Yeah.
Nice. I love it. Yes. What about you, Alice? Do you have any good memories from your childhood?
As you know, I grew up in Alaska, and I would hook my dog up to my sled and deliver newspapers. So I had a paper route, and I delivered it by dog sled. Fact.
Okay.
That is a fact.
Okay. I love it. It is wine day or something, right, Alice? It's wine day.
Somebody posted on Facebook, it's National Wine Drinking Day.
Oh, okay. So what is your favorite wine that you like to drink? And if you don't like wine, what is your favorite beverage, whether it's alcohol or not?
Well, I drink a Riesling or a Malbec.
Agree. I can agree with that. Yeah.
I don't drink wine. I used to, but it gives headaches. But I used to drink a Riesling years ago. That was.
What's your favorite drink? You've got a favorite drink. Come on, tell us what your favorite drink is.
You know what the favorite drink is. It's one in Nashville. It's the
it's not a Cosmo anymore. It
used to be Cowboy or the Yeehaw. But that's because of you and Linnell the last time. You and Linnell got that Yeehaw 2 years ago. So I'm going to have Linnell get one of those this weekend when I see her tomorrow night after 2 years.
Oh, you're I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. I got to talk to Linnell yesterday. I talk to her all the time actually. But I would love to see her. Cherry Coke I can get down with. I love it. I almost got in a fight with somebody who stole my chocolate milk when I was pregnant once. My husband, I said, if you want your own chocolate milk, get your own chocolate milk. Don't drink mine. But whatever. So if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live? Right? I think Alice would live in Peru, which is crazy.
I might, but my dream's to move back to Alaska.
Awesome. Well, you guys could stay with us temporarily until you found a home. We could find your childhood home.
When I can afford housing in Anchorage, I'll let you know.
Oh yeah,
crazy there.
For real. All right, Vernon, would you ever leave Texas?
I would like Texas a lot. So I'm kind of a two-parter on this one, kind of a half and half. Love living in Texas, really enjoy it, but would certainly like to vacation, not only which I have to some degree over the years within the United States, but abroad as well. And Alaska and some of the other wintry climates abroad would be good places. But I am a huge Bahamas fan. So
nice.
That is a good place. Yeah.
It is.
Well, if Alaska's really on your list, we should all do a meetup.
Totally.
That could be.
Or Maui.
That could happen possibly.
I would meet you all in Maui. Okay. Ooh, from Morocco. Hello. Right. Nice. Thank you for joining us. Okay. What is something you don't like doing?
Cleaning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't do laundry.
Yeah. I don't mind laundry.
I literally don't even know how the machine works.
I don't like wiping my 4-year-old's butt. I'm so over wiping poopy butts.
Well, alrighty then. That falls under cleaning.
Yeah, I'm just saying I'm over it.
I can't wait to
wipe your own butt.
Right. Well, I would say that, and some folks know this, some may not, but as a single guy, I'm not just really, really fond of some of the things that are the more mundane task. But it's a part of what we would call adulting. So yeah, the thought of doing laundry just really doesn't excite me. But when you're a single guy, if you don't do it, it doesn't get done.
You said single twice. Are you single and ready to mingle? Ladies, look at this. He looks like Mike Tyson, but he's not going to bite you. He's handsome. Ladies, and he's talented and smart. And he's
very gracious. You're very gracious.
Tim doesn't like cooking. Well, I think at least. I don't know.
And I'm a little different on that because I really enjoy cooking. I really, really enjoy cooking. I do.
Nice.
With jalapenos, Vernon?
Say again, my friend?
With jalapenos? Do you enjoy cooking with jalapenos?
We can do jalapenos. Just not too spicy, but I can do a little spicy. A little spicy is good.
Tim! Oh my gosh. Do not get on Tinder, please, Vernon. Save yourself from that. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Right. It can. Right, Mel. Exactly. Okay, here's another question. What are you doing? What is something that you're doing new right now? Are you doing anything new?
Well, I will go ahead. Go ahead. I didn't want to talk over anyone. Oh, okay.
Nothing.
Oh, okay. All right. My friend Alice Keeler is pointing at me. I guess that means that's my turn. Really, for me, just expanding my brand and continuing to share the message. And so it's not necessarily that it's anything that's quote unquote new per se, but new in the sense of expanding the scale and the scale of being the reach. And so what I want to do at this moment is just throw out a very quick shout out, of course, to Dr. Sarah Thomas.
Heck yeah.
And Mandy as well. Both of those great folks over at Edgy Match. Absolutely. And so listening to Dr. Thomas some time ago, years ago, talk about scale, that really made an indelible impression upon me. And so really for me is just really thinking about what is scale for me. And I will share this. I don't know that I've necessarily shared this publicly, But in the year 2022, some of us, and I know you guys do it, participate in the one word challenge each year. And so for me, for 2022, it wasn't necessarily a one word, but really a term or a phrase for me. And that term was, or is, I should say, next levels. So
Yes. I love
2022
that.
for me, I see that as being a year of next levels. So that's what's new.
I love that. I love that so much. And Tim, thank you. Yes, keep your dumb jokes coming. I love them. But unfortunately, we have to go. We have gone over time, but it was worth it, I think. But before we say goodbye, I always ask our guests, what is one last thing that you would like to share before we say goodbye? So if there's anything burning your mouth and you just, this is your water.
Well, thank you all. Let me go ahead and say this first of all, and I take this very much so from our friend Tom Murray and Dr. Sin Filippo as well. And that is that anytime I have the opportunity to connect with people and to share and to exchange ideas with them, I do not take that for granted. And I just want to say thank you all for having me here on the show. For those that would like to connect with me across all socials @ the Wright Leader. If you would say, hey, Vernon, I want to get connected with more of what you have done, just go to thewrightspeaker.com. And then for those that may want to go ahead and get connected with other things that I'm involved in, blogs that I've written, so forth and so on, just go to my Linktree account, Linktree/the Wright Leader. And so honored and privileged to be with you all. And I just want to go ahead and say this real quick before we close. You being here, watching this, seeing this is not a coincidence. It's not happenstance. It is a date with destiny. Your future lies in your hands. Your future says yes.
Your future says yes. What a glorious way to end this. I'm gonna drop your Linktree once more. There's a flash on the screen. Stay up with Vernon. Obviously, he is inspirational. We love you, Vernon. We're so glad that you came. Yes, thank you. Follow him. Look him up. Have him speak at your next function. Mel, thank you so much for joining us. Tim, thank you for so much. Yes, Aaron. Yes, we're glad to, Mel. And we will see you again in a week. We won't be here on Monday, but we'll see you on Friday. Alice, thanks for coming aboard. You're hysterical. We love you. All right, everybody. Goodbye. Oh, wait. Did you? Oh, yeah. Okay, bye-bye.